this is a lot different. All from the conference of our house, participating in the event. No, I just wanted to start, a recent meeting that I was part of. This is on a multi-cloud, story, a standardization story. One of the gentlemen had this fine topic called the risks around analytical thinking and the fragmentation of knowledge. I thought that would be a very good topic to start with, because the sketch that he was using, and I later found out that it is a research paper that was published, very nicely captures the caveats around, or the chasms embedded within the de-silo efforts that are currently happening in the industry, right? I mean, I'll just give you a very simple set of observations that came out of the sketch. The person, it's a sketch that is about an elephant, a statue of an elephant, and a bunch of people standing in front, and the person at near the trunk, is holding the trunk and says, my observation says this is a snake. And just opposite, on the other side, the person sitting, standing close to the tail, holds the tail and says it's a rope. I mean, just to cut the long story short, I mean, the picture actually gave us very solid view of what is happening today in the world of data analytics, right? I mean, we try to kind of, bring data together into a data lake, build those 360 view of the customer, single view of the customer. These are all, very nice efforts that we keep doing. But having said that, why is that? As we keep adding more data, we find that the silos are actually growing, bigger and bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, myself, Kumar, and this is a wonderful opportunity for us at Treasury Data to be part of the ICS 2021, and we are, elated to be the analytics partner of this year's event. And like I said, all from the conference and comfort of the home. But having said that, we look forward to meeting each one of you during the event. And at this point, I wanted to kind of use this time to share some of the learnings that we have gathered over the period of 5 years, working with about 450 plus customers, and what are the key challenges and trends that are influencing decision making today, right? A jovial example would be a game of cricket where a captain has to make that review call in a span of 12 seconds. While it is not that intense, it usually gets that intense, at times for you, and you're all brilliant leaders who have to take those decisions to kind of get the business moving and grow the business. Having said that, our learnings that comes from a lot of customer implementations and problem solving with them, clearly highlights the context. In fact, the projects that we have done over the last year or so, where COVID context, a lot of people working out of home, and a lot of behavioral changes that we have seen, it's a no-brainer. We don't want to delve too much onto this topic, but having said that, we have clearly seen the case of more and more online shopping happening. There are a lot of first-time online shoppers, a lot of first-time mobile phone users in a lot of regions, and you will find categories of businesses that were never D2C and never online have got online, right? And there are people who buy expensive stuff, which never used to be the case online, which was always a high involvement purchase. You see cars getting delivered at home. So that's the kind of changes that we have seen, and there's a lot of proof that this is happening, which goes to say that the customers' behaviors are fast evolving and adapting to the changing context. And most importantly, right, these changes in behaviors, a classical example would be the retail industry, has impacted the efficiencies with the supply chains, that is basically catering to, deliveries of which is a key part of the business. At the same time, the speed and pace at which the deliveries have to happen. At the same time, how do you kind of, today manage the fast, changing, inventory levels? How do you plan for inventories? And how do you kind of, ensure that the customer experience and the feedback loop is is well connected across online and offline, because these businesses have been extensively offline and they're now online and getting adapted, themselves adapted to the the changing needs of the customer. So in summary, the footprint is changing drastically, right? The customer's footprint is becoming more and more online. At the same time, the longing to get to the offline stores is still persisting. But having said that, our research and a lot of research indicates that there's going to be a mixed bag, and this is going to persist, right? And at Treasury Data, we found a lot of these decision making, delves on primarily the way these businesses manage their data, the data health of these businesses. Have given them the levers needed to kind of adapt swiftly to these changing needs. And some of the key characteristics that we have seen is how well this data is managed. Some of the characteristics that I want to call out or share with you at this point of time is how well your data is time synchronized, right? You could be having a lot of information about different touch points of your customers coming from various data sources, and they're all kind of today available for you for analysis. Not denying that fact, but at the same time, how well these data points of your customers from these different functions come together in a time synchronized fashion, and also how trustworthy it is, right? The trustworthiness largely bifurcates into whether the data was created or captured by your own systems, or you're actually bringing in data from your, say, affiliate systems, or if you're bringing data from third party systems, right? So how do you kind of ensure that the data is trustworthy and it is of the same individual, right, of the same customer that you're dealing with? And we have seen that customers who actually worked towards ensuring the time synchronized trustworthy data health of their data lake or data systems, by using the process of data stitching and duplicating data records. All these elements really have shown tremendous results, both monetarily as well as in a lot of intangibles where customer experiences have increased. Their reviews about the product categories have largely increased as well, right? And the second characteristic that I want to call out is the the conundrum around decisions to be made. The data is available but not ready for consumption, right? This is a classical problem that we have seen with our customers, and we have always recommended our customers to be designing the data velocity at which their systems operate, and the velocity at which these data points from all the touch points come together to be aligned to the rate at which you want to make those decisions. Of course, it's easy said than done. We understand that, but having said that, if we kind of address the data velocity problem, the rate at which you bring the data and have the data available for consumption, largely makes a difference. And that is a proven fact, and we have case studies that really prove that because we solved those problems, we were able to kind of enable a lot of faster decision making, right? And the third most important thing, element of data health or data storage that we have seen is that data lakes are sweepstakes, right? People, the data shows that more than 50% of companies today have risen to the fact that cloud is the new way, and they all have decided to bring all the data sources in one place, which is called as the data lake today. And a lot of curating effort happens around the data lake. But having said that, the biggest problem that we have seen with this stopping at that point is that even though your silos are coming together, your data curation is still happening in silos, which means as you accumulate more and more data from different functions that are not coming together or partially coming together, it creates more and more problems as you accumulate more and more data. And that we have seen, whenever we have kind of ingested data from our customers' data lakes, we always have to kind of do one more round of data cleansing, which is basically one of the key data analytics steps in the whole cycle, right? So having said that, how well you organize your data what we do, just to give you a context, there are multiple ways to do it, but how we end up doing this is we curate the data at a profile level, right? We look at customer as the central element of it, and we enable brands to kind of treat each of their customers as they are the one and only, right? The moment you start aggregating data, and just back traveling towards how do I bring different data points that I'm capturing about this customer into this particular profile, and how do I kind of magically automate this whole process, right? So that is what the approach that we have taken, and it has shown a lot of results. And to add to this particular element of curating data at a profile level, we also bring in the elements of data governance, which is becoming more and more important. And how do you kind of secure the data access, centralize the same, at the same time be able to control access to this data that you're kind of curating, and in different dimensions. For example, what kind of operations people can do, who can do what kind of operations, who can even see what set of data points, right? So if you're able to kind of govern your data that is curated and ready for consumption, then you're talking the best of both the worlds, right? You have the data that is available, um, ready to consume, it is trustworthy, it is fast as well, automated completely. At the same time, you have the element of data governance that is ensuring the right data points go to the right people, and they make use of it to kind of achieve their objectives within the organization. Your decisions are just what you want to do. The means to do that has been enabled because we took this approach. There are multiple approaches that in which this problem can be solved, but having said that, we want to kind of highlight on the fact that we curate data in a lot better way, a lot better way to consume it, and fasten the way make it faster to make decisions about that data, like, based on the data. And features around uh, what to call, it's like, how do I kind of when you say data velocity is increasing, is there a way to kind of rely on that data? How do I kind of ensure that external data that is entering the system at that velocity is quickly made sense of and brought together at a profile level? Yes, these are all the challenges. Of course, at Treasure Data, we have built technologies to kind of solve this need, which actually brings in a world of change in the way you make decisions, and most importantly, decisions that you make that are backed by data, and you are conflict free, right, as a leader. And the next big element that characteristic of managing your data health that we have seen is whether you are able to kind of adapt to the changing data structure, or the schema of the data at the source itself. Today you could be having, say, 500 different customer touch points. Your customers are engaging as we speak. You are adding more touch points as we speak, right? How do we kind of ensure that a changing last mile and the changing set of data points is basically understood without any lead time? The moment you have these lead times, you build those caveats over time, which means you're actually losing valuable information. So what we have seen is, if your system is able to kind of handle data that is, adapting to the changing structure of the original data, and is able to kind of parse it and, give you that information readily for, analysis, that has basically largely, ensured, a risk-free decision making, at our customer places, so that we have seen. The the next big topic, having addressed all these critical enablers for faster decision making, what we have done using this means that we have built, or we're offering, is that we have built um, the key elements to build your loyalty program as a brand, right? Today, we're not just talking about D2C. Every business thrives, needs to thrive on customer experience, and the customer experience defines whether the business actually flourishes, or it doesn't flourish at all, right? So having said that, some of the key drivers around customer loyalty that we have kind of try identified through our engagements is is that how well you use your data health with all the characteristics that we just discussed to build great customer experience. And the second most important element of the loyalty is, are you really in here for the short term or for the long term, right? These systems and these methodologies to kind of set in and start giving results, it takes its time. Even though you start bringing in data, you kind of learn over the process, just like the machines learn today. And you arrive at a set of comfortable plateaus where the way you're managing data and the way you're making your decisions based on the data is actually giving you results, and your customer experience scores are actually improving, right? So this long-term view is something that we have found that customers who took that step to kind of anchor deep have seen tremendous results. And the most important thing is, with all these data points coming together, are you able to build that customer journey, which is again a much used term in the industry? But having said that, how do you kind of go as close as possible to understand what are the different touch points through which your customer is engaging with you, right, with you as a brand? So and finally, how well the team that is actually working with the data, that is able to kind of adapt and understand how their customers are trying to talk to them or communicate with them, and how well they kind of make use of the means that we have, or the technologies that are made available. So with all this, your possibility to delight your customer, which is today again a no-brainer, that delighting your customers is the only way forward to building sound customer experiences. As Treasure Data, we are keen at partnering with businesses to be able to build this amazing success story that we have delivered to our customers, right? Our journey has been pretty short. I would say we are just in the 6th year of CDP journey. Having said that, we've had the opportunity to work with about 450 plus customers, and we bring in a lot of learnings that we have seen across use cases, how people want to manage data, industries, one of the most diverse portfolios that we have seen. And a CDP has been found to have delivered value across industries, right? Where customer focus and customer experience is the primary forte of the focus of the business. Having said that, I want to kind of greet all of you one more time, and it's a pleasure that we are able to kind of participate as the analytics partner at ICS 2021. On a closing note, I want to kind of highlight on some of the changing changes that are happening on the entire fabric of the world of marketing and analytics. The most important element around marketing, particularly the online world, is the sunsetting of the third-party cookies, and naturally the data management platforms that really thrive around this cookie ecosystem, right? So what we have seen is businesses that have made the first-party data strategy or switched to the first-party data strategy has made the best decisions, and that is going to be the way you want to kind of understand your customers, understand their journeys, understand what they want to communicate with you, how they are using your products, bringing your business and the customer engagement and customer experience elements together in one place. And that is what sets the tone for towards a successful future, right? And at Treasure Data, our sole purpose is to be able to partner with you on this transformational journey and be able to kind of bring in the needed technologies which we are already having with us to enable you to work with your data and ensure that data is spot on its health, accuracy, and trustworthiness. Thank you once again, and we're sure this is going to be a great event, and we wish you a great time together, and we look forward to conversing with each one of you during these 2 days. Thank you so much.